Hey, Phil Fondacaro here, star of Troll, Willow, Land of the Dead. Hey, join me on my digital fan event on November 28th. Come on! I will be doing an online Q&A at 4 p.m. Eastern Time that streams live to Facebook and YouTube. You can have a one-on-one meet and greet with me on Zoom following the Q&A.
Welcome, Your Majesty. We're just celebrating our success. Oh, I mean your success. We've made no mistakes this time.
Autographs and video greetings are also available. My suit. They ruined my fucking suit. For all information, please visit fullempirepromotions.com. I look forward to seeing you on November 28th. Come see me.
Open it up. What the fuck?
Boys, meet Lilith.
Life. It's like a box of chocolates.
Hi, I'm William B. Davis. I'm lead actor from the X-Files, also Continuum and Upload. I'm going to be doing a digital Q&A, some meet and greets, and some really good stuff coming up soon. So here comes the information.
It's not every day I get a research question on pagan idolatry.
Oh, well, call it a hobby.
But you said you were interested in local lore?
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid Indiana isn't really known for its pagan worship.
Well, what if
I'll be doing the Q&A at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It will stream live on both Facebook and YouTube, and hope you can have a look.
So you got murdered.
No, I was in a car accident.
Yeah, sure. You just threatened a $600 billion a year industry and no one murdered you.
Nobody murders anybody.
Following the Q&A, you can do a meet and greet right with me personally, and we'll have a chat, and it'd be good to see you.
You've killed men. You can kill a man, but you can't kill what he stands for. Not unless you first break his spirit. That's a beautiful thing to see.
Autographs and video greetings are also available. For all the information, look at fullempirepromotions.com.
You know, your sweetness would be a lot more convincing if we hadn't already met your predecessor.
Predecessor?
Oh, bravo! A performance of the first magnitude. Perhaps you really have duped your shipmates after all.
I look forward to seeing you on November 29th.
Cheap, thoughtless, perfunctory gift that nobody ever asks for. Unreturnable because all you get back is another box of chocolates. So you're stuck with this undefinable whipped mint crap that you mindlessly wolf down when there's nothing else left to eat. Sure, once in a while there's a peanut butter cup or a English toffee, but they're gone too fast and taste is fleeting. So you end up with nothing but broken bits filled with hardened jelly and teeth-shattering nuts. desperate enough to eat those, all you've got left is an empty box filled with useless brown paper wrappers.
All this was happening to me because I was magic and not because I was sick. I used to sit in my bedroom and daydream and wish that I'd wake up the next morning in a land filled with unicorns and dragons and flying horses. Special people, just like I was. Kept on waiting for that to happen.
Wow, what an amazing career. Hey everybody, I'm Dominic. Welcome to another Full Empire Promotions live event. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So thanks so much to everyone who's watching us live. I'm going to be your host for this special Q&A with Phil Fondacaro. If you'd like to have your own private conversation with Phil, following this Q&A, he'll be doing one-on-one video meet and greets on Zoom. You can have 5 minutes of chat with Phil about whatever you'd like, and we'll even send you a recording of your video, of your meeting. In addition, you can get personally signed autographs and posters, as well as video greetings from Phil at fullempirepromotions.com. Sales for the one-on-one Zoom chats will end at about 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in that, you have about an hour to go book that. Autographs and video greetings will remain on sale until 12 p.m. Eastern on Monday, November 30th. Well, without further ado, I'd like to bring on our special guest. You probably know him from Willow, Troll, Return of the Jedi, who played the only Ewok that died, Land of the Dead, Ghoulies 2, The Creeps, The Garbage Pail Kids, and nearly 100 other credits on screen. My friend and client, the great Phil Fondacaro. Phil, how are you?
How are you, Dom?
Good.
Thank
Good
you,
to
man.
see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah, so those clips, they bring back memories, huh?
Because you make me look great. You make me look really, really great. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Well, it was just showing off what you did, your work. So, some of those roles probably seem like a lifetime ago.
Oh my God, some I can't even remember.
You were probably covered in latex.
Yes.
So how have you been doing? Have you been watching any interesting movies or TV during the pandemic? Keep busy?
No. I try and stay away from the news. I mean, I try and keep in touch with what's going on, but you can't tell anymore. You don't know who's saying what. So I just doing this is really kind of a relief from the pandemic, believe it or not, because it was very, very nice.
Yeah. This is your first virtual convention experience. So I have to ask, what do you enjoy most about attending conventions in person?
Just seeing people, fans, real fans that know my work and seeing them and seeing what my work has done for them is really nice. It's the payoff.
Yeah,
that's what we do it for. Is we want to, and as far as an actor goes, they want to do something that affects you, whether it makes you laugh, cry, be scared, whatever. I'm doing my job, and you can only see that by going to these conventions. You can see the actual person one-on-one, and this is the best thing. Actually, I think it's all gonna be like this, to where you can actually see somebody and see how they react to you. So this is much for me in this new virtual age. But the cons are, I don't think there's anything that can match that feeling of actually seeing an actor that you like or you follow and shake hands with them and talk with them like we are like right now. This is amazing. It really is a great addition to whatever we do as far as actors go, to be out there. That's what we want to be. We want to be on camera. So we're on camera right now. Here we are. This is beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think the great thing about conventions, I think you had mentioned this to me once, that you do a job, you do a film, you do a role 20 years ago, and it's just work, and you just forget about it, move on to the next thing. And then 30 years later, you have somebody come up to you at a convention and they say how this role helped them out of a depression. How it cured so much, and it still means so much to them now. And it was just something that you did for work, and you don't get that unless you're at a convention, meeting your audience.
Exactly. It's you summed it up right there. We do that, and you get paid, and you go on to the next job. You don't really know the effect you've had on even if it's just one person,
right?
Until they come up to you and tell you and say, "Hey, they mentioned stuff. These cons. They mentioned stuff that like I do a lot of horror cons, and there's people that go there, for the horror genre because I did a lot of horror stuff." But then you have the people that are, the Sabrina's, Teenage Witch, and Double Toilet Trouble with the Olsen twins, hardcore fans, and come up and bring little pieces of whatever it is, the videotape, whatever it may be, and sign it for me, please. That's my payoff for me.
Absolutely. Well, this is a great pivot for us, until we can get back on the road. So anybody who's watching, guys, drop some comments. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you want to ask Phil anything, feel free to type that in there, and we'll get to it.
Yes.
But I do want to start with your roots, Phil. I understand you were born in New Orleans. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I always knew you knew how to party, coming to New Orleans. So what got you interested in acting? Did you watch films a lot growing up?
Actually, I don't remember. I've been back to New Orleans since, but I don't remember it. I left. I think my mother and father brought me to California at like 1 or 2 years old. So all I really remember is Fresno.
Yeah,
Where I started. And then I went to school here, and then I wanted to go to CalArts, California Institute of the Arts. That's where it all started. So I left here at 18 and went to Valencia and was accepted in the art design school. But CalArts is a school. It's broken up into like 6 or 7 other schools. The School of Dance, School of Music, School. So I was able to, to play in all those genres. I love to play music. I play the drums. I was able to play with that. And then I, saw the theater school and I thought, I did some stuff in high school and stuff, but let's try it here. And had some great teachers and had some great people to influence me. And then my last year there in 81, Under the Rainbow. Under the Rainbow is what started the whole thing. And they needed 150 little people. I mean, that's the casting call, is we need 150 little people. Now, whether you've had the experience or not really didn't matter, because we had to fill that hotel with 150 little people. So we had people that have been around for a while, and then we had people like me that just right out of high school, right out of college, and working on a film. And I was only hired for a very short time, and then it grew into months, and that's where it started. And I've always had that kind of. I like to do skits and make people laugh and make people, scare people. Always had that. So this school just all it did was just ramp up everything for me, and.
Right. Do you recall your first audition? Did you have to audition for Under the Rainbow, or did you just get the job because you were a little person? Like they just needed them.
Yes, I need 150. Here's the casting knowledge. We need 150 little people. So show up, and you go. And just need for background, but you have to understand that you have to house all these 150 little people. So it was around. The LPA had already started, Little People Association, so they got most of them from there, but they had to go to other states. And what was great about the movie was it's about the making of The Wizard of Oz. And in 1938, there wasn't the LPA. There weren't like large groups of little people. Right. So, they had to go all over the world and had all these people come to Culver City in that hotel, and it was like the first LPA convention that ever existed. And all the antics that went along with it. So
yeah, I know. I remember reading they actually used a lot of kids as munchkins in The Wizard of Oz, even though it was illegal.
Yes,
they had to just put makeup on them, cover them up.
And that really was kind of a good thing for little people in the business, for the sheer fact that now they don't just need us for costume work. They now need you to stand in for kids, because we can't work the kids like we can work the little people which were adults.
Right. Or else, otherwise you could report the kids and say, you're taking my work away. You're not supposed to be doing this. And, send those little kids to jail.
Well, it's like now I think we can say we stand in for them now. All the child actors, if they had to have someone stand in for them, they had to have someone be their stunt double or be something. So we always had work there, but we didn't have we're the ones that are working. It's like weird when I started working, I had to have a stand-in for me, but it's another little person. You understand? Not a little kid. So it kind of helped all of us, to even people watching us saying, hey, these guys could do this and they can act here. So it kind of just opened it up so that we could have a chance.
Right.
I grew up with Michael Dunn and the Wild Wild West, and seeing a little person on the screen acting was very, very empowering to me at that time. I was thinking, God, I can do that. I could, and it really, it to this day.
For sure.
It's right on.
Now, did you for Under the Rainbow? Did you interact with Chevy Chase or Carrie Fisher, any of the main cast? Were you on set a lot?
All the time, all the time. It was oh my gosh, and it wasn't just Carrie Fisher and Chevy. Chevy and Carrie were like the main guys, but they had all these other actors, Robert Donner and God, I'm going on a blank now.
Well, it was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. Alan Arkin. These are people that you have to sit with all day. We're background, and they're doing their scenes. So it would be like you and I right now. You start talking to them, and you become like really connected with them. And we were working on the same thing for 3 months, 4 months. You're like, you get to know what they like, what they don't like, go out to dinner with them, So having to interact with them was quite nice. And Chevy and Carrie were very, very approachable at that time. Chevy was very, very popular from the SNL.
Right.
And Carrie was kind of too, but the Star Wars thing hadn't come yet. So we really weren't like we weren't gaga over Carrie for Star Wars.
Right.
We were gaga over most of the other people that we got to work with.
Right.
I think we were more gaga with working with each other, all the little people. I mean, a lot of little people started their careers there, and a lot of little, that are gone now. But it was this petri dish of talent, and all the good stuff rose to the top at that point. And so we kind of we were very impressed with Carrie and all the big stars that were in it. But if you look at the picture, if you see the picture, it was a lot. We were the little people were the main focus.
Right. Subject of the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Carrie Fisher, in 1983, you entered the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
You played not just an Ewok, but the only Ewok who dies on screen.
Yes.
Did you audition for this, and did you meet George Lucas, or how were you cast in this?
No. The story goes is George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were quite they're at their height of their E.T. hadn't come out yet, and they found Pat Bailon in Under the Rainbow, and he was really, really shorter than all the rest. And Spielberg came on set and had this idea and took him. And from then on, it was like, then George came in, now we're doing Star Wars, we need Ewoks. So it was almost like those two men gave us some legitimacy. We're not just background, we're vital parts of whatever their story is, which was the nice thing about it. Right. George Steven Spielberg, I don't know what we would have done or what would have happened after that. It's because of them entering into they had this petri dish, like I said, of 150 little people, and you could actually have them do whatever you want them to do. So when the Ewoks came and we see Carrie Fisher, a lot of the people that were in Under the Rainbow were also Ewoks too. So seeing Carrie again was like a different, it was a much different atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Than Rainbow was. Rainbow was a little more friendly. We could get to her. When we got to the Star Wars thing, then we started segregating people.
Right. Blair's watching. He says the pearl is in the river. Best quote from Under the Rainbow.
Yes. And Billy Marty, that whole, Billy did bring a lot of little people from the LPA on to the thing, but he secured a very good part for himself. He did a fantastic job in that.
Right.
That film. Right. So did Cork Hubbard. And so did, there's Betty Carrington. There's all these people, Zelda Rubinstein. There's all these people that went on to work with.
They went on to have, great careers.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you got cast as the Ewok, did you know you were going to be dying in the film, or it was just a general Ewok, a general costume?
We were at a hotel in Brookings, California. We were right in the redwoods, Brookings, California, and Oregon, and we all drive up there. We took over the whole hotel. It was a hotel that was on one level, not a 2-story, and spread out. And they put all the Ewoks in there. So it was only little people in this hotel. And in the city, we'd go out to dinner and there'd be, little people everywhere. Something like a convention. It was just like a convention. And every day we'd have to get up. We'd go to, we have this instructor who would, get us in shape and without costumes on, keep us in shape. And then we put the stuff on and then practice doing some calisthenics on that. And it really just boiled down to them picking, as George was doing the shots, or Richard Marquardt, whoever, they would say, we need some Ewoks doing this, we need some Ewoks doing that. And there were a lot of times when they just say, you grab. People would have sections of like maybe 7 or 8 of them. And then we had the stunt Ewoks that were hired only to do stunt work with high explosives or any stuff like that. But everybody else had to be ready and willing to go. And that means through anything, running through forest, guys picking you up, throwing you through stuff. And the thing about the costumes is they had this padding. It's like an umpire's thing, and then we have tubes on our arms, tubes on our legs, and then this fur coat over it. And then we're looking out of these little goggles, like swimming goggles. And I can remember our first day there where we're on uneven ground, we're in the redwood forest. And we have to do scenes where you're going to fire at these guys. Ready? Ewoks 1. And we do our thing and then go back down. Then next, we do it again. And then all those shots you see, all the fighting scenes, they just okay, you. And in that particular shot, they grabbed me and Debbie Carrington. And actually, I remember doing it, but I don't remember the camera being that close to us like that. So that was all there, Dewey. It wasn't like, okay, Phil, we're going to do a scene here where you're going to die. And the way they used it was amazing, because after seeing it, people would say, God, that they actually killed one of the little, furry dudes.
Right.
So it was unbeknownst to us. We didn't know it until after it was all cut together.
Incredible. Well, you're part of that legacy now forever. Star Wars legacy. So yeah, that's great. Your buddy Scott Seidman is watching. Says tell them about our brush with Frank Sinatra and Michael Jackson.
Yes. How you doing, Scott?
Was that during a musical?
No, we did. Scott and I did a stint called the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular, and we did that for 5 years together. That means from end of August, September, and October. Like got there in November, and we go all the way till January. And we were everything from elves dancing to dancing snowmen to dancing bears for the Nutcracker. And this was stage acting at its best, at its height. I mean, thousands upon thousands of people would go there every year. and fill that. I don't know if you know how big Radio City is.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Well, there'd be other acts that would come too. They do the Grammys there. Sometimes they do the Oscars there. So, well, this time it was Frank Sinatra coming to singing with Shirley MacLaine, and we just got out of a set. We just got out of our rehearsing, and we're leaving out the back doors to go. And that's 5 of us. And I can't name all of them right now, but Scott was one of them. And we're going out the back doors, stage doors. And these men came in with radios on and told us, you have to step back just a minute. We thought, oh, maybe the governor, maybe the president, maybe something. And all of a sudden, this guy walks in. He goes, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And it was like Sinatra. We're all standing there in our garb to leave, to go back to get rest. And there he is. He said, "Hey," and first thing out of our mouths was, "Hey, you gonna come and see the show? You come see the?" He said, "No, you're gonna come and see my show." He said, "Well, we got 5 shows a day. We got this." No. You're going to come to the show. And matter of fact, you're going to come to the show as my guest. So I'll see you back here in, I don't know, a couple of hours, and we'll have seats for you. I mean, not in the audience. So we're already excited as hell. And we go, and there he has behind the stage, right off the stage that we're on, we work on every day. He has line of like 6 or 7 chairs for all of us to sit. And we watched the entire show with him and Shirley MacLaine. He sang all the old, it was amazing. His son was a conductor. It was just amazing. We felt like we were kings. And he came backstage and shook our hand and saying, Shirley MacLaine was there and shook our hands and saying, "Oh, it's great to see you guys." And it was very, very, it was very cool. And Scott was over the moon. He's a collector of actors and musicians. So when Michael Jackson came to the Radio City, he's the first one out there, and it was amazing to see such talent coming to. We didn't think of Radio City's Christmas Spectacular, at least I didn't, as being anything like really, really big. Right. You add, Frank Sinatra's going to be there, or then it becomes back to Scott. Do you remember when you went and got Mickey Mantle's? Was it Mickey Mantle? I'm not sure. Mickey Mantle's autograph.
Wow.
Hopefully.
And
said, "Do you remember that one?"
Scott says Richard Nixon. Was he there? No.
Wait. It was the manager of the Yankees back in. I'm not a baseball. He's the baseball.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I should know his name, but I can't remember his name. But he and I want to say Mickey Mantle, but it's not. I don't think it might. I'm not sure. He's going to write that to me, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, don't ask me anything about sports. I thought quarterback was a refund.
Yeah, yes, but he was like so ecstatic. He ran to our dressing room and said, "Do you know who's at the?" It was at a bar right down the street. Matter of fact, the guy insulted him, and he still wants to go back.
George Steinbrenner.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
yes.
There you go.
George Steinbrenner and. I want to say
Mickey Mantle. He just confirmed it, Scott.
There you go.
Thank you, Scott. Wow.
Thank you, Scott.
So was Michael Jackson a nice guy, or did he tell you to beat it?
Yeah. See, Scott. That was very good. I'm not like that. I mean, I was very, very impressed in seeing Frank Sinatra and Shirley MacLaine. It was amazing to me, but not to the point where I would like go out of my. He kind of came to us, so that was easy. Now Scott's the kind of guy that like So I didn't go at Michael. Go, Michael, can I have your autograph or shake your hand? He wasn't like that. Now to him, I'm sure it was exciting for him. We also had Janet Jackson there. We had big actors and actresses that played there, and we wouldn't go to every single one of them. It was just certain people that you like, and I just couldn't understand how Scott. It's not a bad thing, Scott. Take it easy. That he was so anxious to get autographs or see them or meet them.
Wow, very cool. Very cool.
And Scotty, if you're still there, what about Buttafuoco?
Wow. Yeah. Blair's watching. He's telling me, don't quit my day job. Blair, unfortunately, this is my day job.
Oh.
So, well, we have to move on to, a partnership that would go on for many, many films. You started with Charlie Band and Empire Pictures.
Yes.
Your first one was The Dungeon Master.
Yes.
AKA Rage War, right? Was the alternate title Rage War?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the first of many films you do with Charlie. How did you first meet Charlie, and what's your first impression of him?
Well, Charlie was like the, I don't want to show my age, but he was like the Roger Corman, Golden Globus type producer director guy, and kind of out of the, kind of not big like the Spielberg's. He was kind of and a little offbeat,
right?
Which is
right.
what I really, really wanted to do. I wanted to be serious. I want to be able to act and do anything, and he gave me that opportunity. Just to have that opportunity, and to have people like John Biegler, who really is the one that kind of pushed me, because I met them pretty much at the same time. But John was the one that said, this guy can do some things. And at the time, my brother was with me.
Mm-hmm.
My brother was with me on Under the Rainbow, Jedi, and then we did Dungeon Masters together. And from then on, Sal's my brother, fantastic musician, songwriter. Matter of fact, he wrote the theme song for Under the Rainbow to actually be done, and they went with somebody else at the time. But that's where we got a lot of publicity, me and my brother, him doing the musical end of it, and we were also the sidekick in the Under the Rainbow film. They made stuff with just me and my brother. We were the Fighting Fondacaros. We were in Life magazine. We were in Rolling Stone.
Wow.
Little people brothers coming into the business.
Very cool.
And John Biegler, I think what happened with my brother was my brother was a musician and is a musician. So he wanted to go in that direction as me. I liked music too, but not to the point where I wanted to, record or write or, become a drummer in a band or anything. I wanted to act. So I stayed there. And John Biegler was the one that said, look, Phil, I have this idea to put you in this costume. But I know you're not going to really want to do it, because I know you're trying to get away from costumes. This is after Jedi and after all the other B films that I did with having a full body costume on. He said, I'm going to give you there's a part of here for Malcolm Mallory. And he's a professor, and he gets to act. He said, but you got to help me with the troll. It's got to be troll. I can't just say, okay, you can do that. I have to find somebody else. So will you do this for me? And yes, I did, and got into the vats and got the full body thing, and which I was used to. But then when he gave me Malcolm, it was like, that's it. And then, Troll, I love Troll. I love, but it wasn't like a big blockbuster film. All I knew was I was getting the chance to be out of costume,
right,
and be an actor.
Getting some good dialogue as well. That's some great dialogue in that.
It was amazing. And then from then on, it was like John was like, I'm going to put you in everything I do. And Charlie, I'm going to put you in everything I do. And the thing about the things I've done with Charlie and John, they all gave me that chance to be out of that costume. Now, granted, yes, there were some ones I did in costume, like Garbage Pail Kids, full body. But he gives you Ghoulies too. I don't have to, you know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
Give and take.
It's a give and take, absolutely. Paul Ashford's watching. He said, "Hey Phil, how was going to Italy to work on Troll, and what's your favorite memory from the film?"
Oh my God! Well, first of all, that's another part that made Troll so special too. Is the idea that we had to go to the old Dino De Laurentiis studios, and hearing Charlie say, "Oh yeah, we're going to fly into Rome," I say, "Wait, that's Europe? Yeah, yep, we'll fly you there, and you're going to be there for a couple of weeks, and you're going to stay, in this castle, and you're going to stay here. You're going to, you have to live here for a while." I loved Europe. I love the idea that I'm doing something. It's my work. It's what I do, and being in Europe was amazing. That's the most memories, learning all the language and going places. And so it got to a point where actually doing the movie was the least, was like the boring part of it. I gotta go and do that Troll thing, I gotta memorize these lines. It was Rome. It was Rome. And Charlie was Rome. Charlie was like, spoke Italian to us, and he like was totally embedded in the Roman European. He wouldn't even speak to us off camera. He'd speak to us in Italian. That's how he was.
Yeah, he likes to show that off when you're around him.
And then to go back, and then then he started doing other films, and I'd get to go back. So part of, he put me in the next one. I'm gonna do Doll Man here. I'm gonna do Meridian. Where are we going? Right back to the castle again, right back to Rome. And that's almost like getting your price of that you want. So it really didn't matter about money. All it mattered was, wait, we're going back to Rome. Yep. And I don't know I can't even remember how many times, how many movies, and how many times we went to the castle.
Very many, yeah. Well, was Charlie on set quite often? Did he give John Biegler some directing tips, or did he just let him kind of have freedom as a director?
I remember he would pop in and pop out during Troll. Yes, he had the, not so much. I think Biegler was more on me, while Charlie was probably more on the other actors, which I felt was good. It was very comforting to know that someone, and not just someone to pop in and say, "Yeah, you're doing that. That looks okay," and then leave. And you have to remember too, Albert was around at that time, so I remember Albert a lot. Our man. Coming in and doing his 2 cents, because he was a very good director himself.
Yes.
So I remember both of them coming in and out, but not like a directorial type. I already got that with John.
Yeah, well, I think John probably worked with you because of the prosthetics.
Yes.
Because that was his forte, special effects.
Yes.
Wasn't really a director yet.
And the thing is, it's the same thing about Garbage Pail too. Garbage Pail and Troll, he was in charge of making those things look right and operating right. And I was just in the costume. I didn't make myself smile. And those were wires coming out of the back of my head, and there's like 4 guys trying to hide behind stuff and making, the troll smile and make the all you're seeing on me is just the eyes and then my movement. So a lot of the work were those guys behind the scene, and I knew those guys like the back of my hand.
Right.
You got to go to the place and get fitted, and when Garbage Pail came, I was right in the middle of doing Willow, and
right.
I booked both those movies on top of each other, so I had to jump and move back and fly to London and be Von Carr and then come back here and be Greaser Greg, and then it was hey, it's what you were.
What you signed up for.
Yes, it's what you signed up for, and so you just got to do it. You can't cry, you can't bitch about it. You got to do it.
Right, right. Well, I do want to bring up a film you did for Disney called Fuzzbucket.
Oh God!
It was directed by Stephen King collaborator Mick Garris.
Oh yes.
What are your memories of Mick? And God, that costume looked miserably hot.
Oh my God! It's funny how people can look at them. Let's just take Troll, Garbage Pail, and Fuzzbucket. I don't look at them as individual differences for the sheer fact, like I said, in Fuzzbucket, the only thing that was really, really hard for me, besides just wearing the latex suit, I was used to that. They had me wear these sclera lenses, and they're like to make my eyes look blue. And that was more cumbersome than the actual outfit itself. I mean, I was used to that type of stuff. I mean, and there were a lot of little people still doing stuff. I mean, look at E.T. Look at Howard the Duck. Look at those were little people in that costume and making that costume work.
Right, right. Wow.
And Leprechaun too, also.
Right.
That whole prosthetic, it's up to them.
Yeah.
They're doing it, and all I am is making it come to life. Now, if it looks bad or the things that's on them. So I don't take too much responsibility. And when you say, how was it different? I didn't see any difference. It's a costume it's like going out to Halloween. I don't know if it's Spider-Man on the outside. It's just I have to put this thing on and there's a mask. And that's it. So I really can't make a difference between them, except for the idea that in Fuzzbucket, and you got to realize something. Fuzzbucket was being made. Disney wanted to make that a series.
Yeah.
This creature, and Kevin Yeager did all the work, and Kevin Yeager went on to do all the Tales from the Crypt stuff, and the Crypt Keeper and all that.
And Chucky, he built the first Chucky.
And there we go with Chucky. Some of those shots of Chucky. There's a little person in Ed Gale, I think. These are the people that have chosen. I mean, I've chose to outdo those parts, and obviously they did too. But that comes with a price. That means they're going to call you again and again and again, because if you're willing to go through all that crap, do it. And I thought the Fuzzbucket thing was going to be this, because it was Disney. I thought it was going to be
like the next E.T.
Yeah, the next E.T. Exactly. And I think that's what everyone was trying to strive for. Let's get this creature that is just as cool as the Ewoks, but not as mean as a troll, but kind of. So everyone made their attempts, and I've seen all the rights about it, the writings about Fuzzbucket, how ugly it is, and it is a really crazy looking animal.
It is. It is.
It's very scary.
Looks like something you'd scoop out of the shower drain.
Exactly. And believe me, being in that outfit with the eyelids, it's like
wow. Well,
trying to make it all work for them. You try and take care of yourself so that you can give them their shot. But I look at it now and how that all came together. We thought, at least I did, I thought this was going to be the next. I was hoping to go to network and we were going to, and I think about that. I was hoping that I could get in this costume for what? Years?
Yeah.
How crazy are you, Phil? Exactly. But thank God it didn't go over very well. We had John Landis produce that.
Right. As I said, Mick Garris was the director. He went on to direct many Stephen King films.
Mick was, I think, just starting out. So he's like caught in between. You look at Mick's stuff now. My God,
he's great. Great writer, too.
He's a master. And
yeah,
I can say, hey, I was part of that growing up.
Absolutely.
Procedure.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mick. Thank you very much, Mick.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And also, I believe Fuzzbucket is available on the Disney Plus platform. If anybody wants to check it out, they do have it on there now. Yeah.
That, and you see that whole Disney thing. I have a real deep connection with Disney. Not only that, but doing the Black Cauldron. That I thought was going to be, well, it was the 25th animated movie that Disney ever did. And we're thinking, it's going to be another Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's going to be another, Snow White. But that went over so bad. People didn't like that movie at all. It was like too scary, it fits better now.
Mm-hmm.
Cauldron fits better now than it did back when it opened.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You did the voice work of the Creeper on Black Cauldron. That was the transition to voice work. Did you enjoy doing voiceover work?
Yes, I actually had to go in and not only read just a little bit, and then they hadn't even made the character up. As far as drawings were, so it kind of developed me on the thing doing whatever I was doing. So if you look at the Creeper and I look at the Creeper, I love that. I thought the animation was amazing, and that Creeper was me. Was really me. That whole hyper kind of crazy. Yeah. It was so beautiful. I thought, I'm going to be the next Mickey Mouse now. Here I am. But it kind of, and working with John Hurt, my God, the voices and that's when I started really starting to understand that my voice has a little bit of character to it.
Absolutely.
And I started doing a lot of stuff where I manipulate my voice. I did Superboy. I did an episode of Superboy, and I had to make my voice. I'm going to kill you. And the opening of Double Toilet Trouble. That's my voice. It was. I don't know. I think people just thought, that's kind of cool. Let's have Phil use. I also did an episode of Sliders where I play a bounty hunter, and there's that voice again. Right. And even people today, even when I'm doing my normal talking, I have this gravelly kind of, pitch to it. And I think that's what the Disney people saw right at the very, very beginning. Joe Hale. I think they saw that, discovered it, and said, let's try it. Unfortunately, with some of the things I've done for Disney, that they don't quite make it to that Disney plateau that you'd like it to.
Right.
But I still enjoyed doing it. And my memories are nothing but good, even though the costume and even though the long hours and even though it was a great experience with Disney. And the funny thing now is, like you said, you could get it on Disney now. I think you can get Black Cauldron too. It's like,
yes.
More people are watching it, I think, now than they did back when I did them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the plus part of it.
Very cool. Graham's watching. He's asking any Ghoulies 2 memories.
Oh my God. Ghoulies 2 was another one of Charlie and
Albert has died.
Albert, yes, Albert. They said, Phil, we want you to be this. We want you to lead the circus thing, which is like I've done that so many times. I'm leader of a circus all the time. This we want you to be this English. You want you to be this Shakespearean type too. And my first question was, do I have to put anything on? Do I have to wear anything? No, Phil, we're going to let you go. We're going to let you be yourself. We just want you to do a good accent. Okay, you're Sir Nigel now. Okay, and the memories, not all great. I always remember Albert telling me, "Where's your accent? Where's your accent? Where's your accent?" Which tells you how he wasn't just directing like to get this thing done. He was like actually, "Hey Phil, this is you're not doing. You got to act better. Act better. You got to do an accent better." So I had a good time on that, but I really had to concentrate on Big Sir Nigel, but nothing with good memories. But then again, we had the Beagler thing with all the different creatures, and thank God I didn't have to be in it. I mean, I didn't have to wear that Graham knows what I'm talking about with the mask. The
big ghoulie at the end. Yeah. Well, you were in your element. You know, you're in your comfort zone with Beagler and being in Europe and being in the Empire crew. So great. Many people consider Ghoulies 2 better than the first one. So
Oh, and I got a great story about Ghoulies 1. I was supposed to do Ghoulies 1. People ended up doing that part with Tammy Sue, who also did a little bit in E.T. I got into an automobile accident and I was supposed to be in that Ghoulies. Got into an automobile accident and I was set up for 8 weeks. So he ended up doing it. And when Ghoulies 2 came out, Charlie and Albert said, if he's up and mobile, we gotta bring him back in here. You're not going to be the little mystic guy. You're going to be Sir Nigel. So I enjoyed doing Ghoulies 2. I thought it was a better picture. I mean,
yeah, definitely. You know, better cast,
a little bit better. Yes.
Yeah. We touched on this a little bit, but Corey's watching. He says, "Garbage Pail Kids memories and thoughts."
Oh, good. They were terrible. You know what? I couldn't believe they were making a movie about these cards that people were kind of mixed messages on them. Kids couldn't have them. Matter of fact, kids were getting them because they just wanted to get back at their parents.
Right.
But then you have someone who said, "Hey, look, we want to make this live action." Live action what? Live action Garbage Pail Kids. It's like, wait, how the heck? Well, here comes John again. This time it won't be so bad, Phil. This time, you know why? Because it won't be right to your face. They were like these big bobbleheads. Like it had lots of space in there.
Like a helmet.
Yes. Yeah. But you can't see very well out of it either. So we had to ride motorcycles. We had to do all kinds of crazy stuff in that. The guys we put together for that were amazing.
Was it your actual voice or was it dubbed over?
No. All the voices. I think it was only Alligator, Wendy Winston. Greaser Greg was somebody else's voice.
Yeah.
It wasn't my voice.
Yeah, they tried to make him sound Italian, I think, like an Italian spinoff. Making fun of
that gruffness, that
Yeah.
New York type of, Yeah, but it really didn't make much of a difference because it's if you could be inside that and then deliver lines, because that's how it was. We deliver the lines on the set, but we didn't have mouths that move. It wasn't like so. It was kind of weird. That's why they would go back and put anyone else.
Yeah, definitely a strange film, but huge cult following.
It was like Fuzzbucket. If you people remember Fuzzbucket, that I did all the voice, and that's what I really wanted. But I can remember Disney coming to me and saying, "Hey, look, we just want to put a different voice in there." And who did they get? They got the guy who did. I should know his name, and I don't. The guy who did Winnie the Pooh, who his voice was synonymous for.
Was it Sterling?
Whoever does the voice.
First name was Sterling, I think. I can't remember his last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ended up doing all my dialogue with his. So when you see the Fuzzbucket movie, it's not my voice.
Right. We do have to mention in 1988 you worked with George Lucas again with the classic film Willow. Did you have a great relationship with Lucas?
Well, I'll tell you, Jedi and Willow have a real big connection, and I'll tell you where it is. When we were in that hotel room, with all the Ewoks for Jedi, I think George was right in the middle of writing and using that camaraderie of all these little people every day, going to work, doing that whole thing. Because after Jedi, everyone was expecting George to put out the next Star Wars, but he didn't. He put out Willow, and Willow was kind of his little thing. He wrote it, all his own stuff. So I think that had a lot to do with it. Him seeing that whole. I mean, not to mention the fact that Warwick was part of it too, and he brings that whole genre into it too. So a lot of little people worked on that Jedi, and then moved on to the Willow thing. And we did have two different areas. In Jedi, we had the UK little people, and then we had American little people.
Right.
Same for Willow. The village scene, those were all UK people. And we were the outsiders, kind of, because we were in their element. And David Steinberg, myself, Billy Barty, Tony Cops were the only little people American. The rest were all, from Europe.
Right.
It was fun. It really was fun.
Do you recall seeing Willow for the first time with a live audience?
Oh God, yes.
What were the reactions? Where was it? Where was the premiere? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember now. You know what? It's a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth. I went not knowing what they did with me. You shoot your shots, but you don't know what's going to end up on the floor. Really, all my main thing was I wanted to have my name on the screen on a George Lucas film. But it was not George Lucas, Ron Howard film.
Right.
And once I saw the opening and that's the opening, Phil Fondacaro. It was like, that did it for me. And then watching it and seeing what they did with the little time they had with me, it was amazing. I have to admit, I did get a little crazed while we were shooting because I didn't want Von Carr to be a wimp and go with burger cut. I could remember talking to George and Ron and talking to him, hey, why don't you have him come back and save him or something, or have him.
Very cool. Well, it's definitely classic.
Yeah, it was classic.
Yeah, well, there's currently a Willow TV series going into production for Disney Plus. If you were approached to reprise the role of Von Carr, would you take it?
Oh God, yes. Oh, in a heartbeat.
What do you think he'd be doing now, Von Carr? Where do you think he'd be at in his life now?
Well, I'm gonna write the script now. Here we go. No,
we're just putting it out there.
I think if we're moving up in time where Willow's not a little kid anymore, he's an old man, and we're looking at the child. We're looking at the child. Yeah, I think Von Carr would be there, and I think Von Carr had some problems. He could be he could turn into a very evil guy.
Yeah.
In that genre, which is something I would like. And if you're asking me, yeah, I'd like to see Von Carr come back older and pissed off that he's stuck with and didn't protect and be a different type of guy, an evil guy. I want that child now. Once around that time, I want to get that child, that type of thing. So, if you're listening, you guys, and you're doing that, you got my number.
All right, guys. Any Disney execs watching? Come on.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think Von Carr had probably been in a handful of bar fights since the 80s. I can see him, in a pub over there.
Yes. That character was it makes me think, and that was back in 1988, right? 88? Oh God.
Yeah.
That whole genre was like what Games of Thrones is now. So it was like well before its time. It was that type of character.
Yeah, for sure.
And little made it even better. So I think it would be wonderful if they could make that happen. And
right.
Bring all back.
Well, we shall see. We're putting it out there, so see what happens. Well, in 1997, you were offered the role that a little person has never played and probably will never play again. You played the iconic Count Dracula in the film The Creeps, another collaboration with Charlie Band.
That's the epitome of what Charlie and did for me. Is like, who would ever give me a chance to do that? No one. And the premise, you got to sit back and say, look, you're going to take a bunch of little people and great makeup work on them, on Dave Bartolis, who did all the makeup for all those guys. Thank God I didn't have to wear too much stuff, and I got all the dialogue. I love to have the dialogue. So when he said to me, we're going to do this thing about this little people shrinking down, it's like, oh man, they're going to laugh at us. He said, well, Phil, this is what I want you to do. I want you to play it as if you're Count Dracula. You really are. I don't care how small you are. I don't care if you're green. I don't care if you're blue. I don't care. You have to play it like you are. So who gives you an opportunity like that? No one did. And I think at that time, yeah, I watched the old Dracula things, but I think what really got me at that time was Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman's portrayal of Count Dracula was so iconic that, yeah, I stole from him. I stole that whole. I'm not gonna make this funny slapstick. I'm gonna pretend I am Count Dracula, and it worked. It really did work.
Yeah, you did a great job with it. You were definitely sold as Dracula.
Thank you.
On that same topic, Christopher Hoffman is watching. He said you had such a fantastic presence as Dracula in The Creeps. The archetype indie was such an interesting concept. Are there any iconic literary characters that you'd like to portray that you haven't been able to yet?
Richard III.
Richard III.
I'd love to do Richard III, but you can't touch. You can't touch who's done them before. I can only step up to him, and it would only be because I'm small. I think the character is right up my alley, just like Dracula was right up my alley. So Richard III would be my first pick.
Wow.
I would love to. I would love to play a really bad guy, a real. I don't mean a scary little person down there. I mean, like a I'm trying to think of a character that I can match it with. Hold on.
Somebody inherently evil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator. Joaquin Phoenix is a Joker. Someone mentally not all there, but being little.
Right. You could play Ewoking Phoenix.
Ewoking Phoenix.
There you go.
Now think about that.
See that? Well, Phil, you've had so many careers, so many great roles in your career. We're coming up on a little over an hour here. We didn't even touch on the Addams Family, playing Cousin It, and the Teenage Witch, and so many other films. But I do have to talk a little bit about George Romero because he's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time.
There you go.
You worked with him on Land of the Dead.
Yes.
And you only get a few scenes, but one of the most memorable characters in the film. Chat with me about how you got connected with George and what was it like to work for him?
I believe that was I had to go in and read. I think there was, a casting call, and people got, you got to realize that just because I did the part doesn't mean it was written for me and they just said, here, Phil, you're going to play this.
Right.
Sometimes in Charles' case, yes, but stuff for TV and stuff, I had to go in just like everybody else.
Right.
We don't do too much anymore. But I'm saying everyone has a shot at it, and me getting to do that just makes it eat all the better that I could do that and do a good job at it. It's important. It's important.
Right. And I think that's what made the scene memorable. That it was a little person. If you just had a regular mobster, like a regular guy, the scene would just be disposable.
Yes.
But I think because it was you, and you had that over the top badass portrayal of your suit, and the cigar, and the whiskey. That
I also enjoy the idea that I got to be able to shoot guns and stuff. I like to shoot guns. I enjoy that, and I have to say that I've had a lot of gun shooting in my career, and that was very, very nice. And his attitude, everything. I think the hardest part of the whole thing was holding that Chihuahua accent.
Yeah.
So everything else was perfect. Everything else was. And George Romero was like, God, I want to do more. I want to put you in this scene. 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 But it just doesn't happen. It's the thing about God, like Fuzzbucket to be a regular. It just doesn't happen. Whatever happens, you got to take it, whatever it is. So it would have been nice if I would have been a lot more, a bigger part in it. Would have been nice to do something on a scale that we're trying to achieve, that Oscar caliber popular type.
It would have been interesting if they had you come back as a zombie.
Yes.
After you got shot,
He did mention that to me. He said that would have been more time, more this, more that, so he was on a schedule to get everything done, as most good directors do. You start going off kilter there, you can run into a lot of problems. So he was very, very, he was a director's director, actor's director, great to work with. And I've worked with many, and I think people tend to say, oh, you worked with such and such an actor that has a caliber of here. That's your caliber too.
Right.
That's I haven't found that in my career. I put all the directors and all the writers and I put them all on the same page because for the sheer fact of giving me this chance to do this. So I can't say, oh, well, this one's better because it made more money or it's more popular. No, they're all,
all part of your career, right?
Yes.
Right. Well, Phil, we're running 15 minutes over the hour here. I think we covered a good chunk of your career. but I do want to give you an opportunity if there's anything we missed, any kind of memories that you have from a different role that we didn't bring up. If you want to.
Well, I know I'm pushing the bad guy thing, and I've always had that persona throughout my whole career. But we didn't mention a lot of the goody guy, the nice, Oscar, in Double Double, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Although the Teenage Witch thing was comedy, I still had that bad thing going for me. But stuff like that, and Touched by an Angel, and I've done a lot of stuff that is not out there. Like I did an independent film for the American Film Institute called The Penny Elf, with Mark Jean directed, and I worked with Christopher Lloyd and Andrea Marcovici, and it was a American Film Institute film back before, right after I did Rainbow, before I did Jedi, and it was me as a no costume, no nothing, and it got accolades, but it didn't go out like a George Lucas film or
didn't find its audience.
Yes, I want to put a shout out to my good buddy Andy Berman, who's a director, directed me in a piece a while back called Bit Players with Vern Troyer, and it's about the behind the scenes look of two little people during the making of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and it went to Cannes, and it won a audience awareness award. But it's a little film that is an example of what directors can do, and they don't have to have a high profile name to do it. It's called Bit Players. It was. I could put it on. It really did make a big impression on my career.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was. You sent it to me a couple of years ago, and it was a great little film. It would be good if they put it as part of a Willy Wonka DVD package or Blu-ray package when they release the film.
Yes.
I'm not sure who owns it, but they should look into that. It'd be people. If you like Willy Wonka, you would love that little. You'd like Bit Players, for sure. Well, Phil, the final question I have for you is one that I ask everyone. Probably going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, I know.
But if you could pick one dream lead actor or actress to play in the lead in a film with you, and one director to direct the film, who would you pick? Now, there's two caveats. They have to be people you've never worked with before, and they have to be people who are still alive.
Wow.
Are there any directors' movies you watch now that you just love and you say, man, I'd like to work for that guy?
Well, it would. Okay. Okay. I always wanted to work with Jack Nicholson. I always thought Jack Nicholson was a fine act, but I could say that it's almost the same as like a De Niro, Pacino. They're in that echelon. Right. Director, I Clint Eastwood would, but I'm saying that because of what he's done. It's going to be completely different if by some weird chance, okay, we're going to do a film, Phil, and you're going to star in it, and I would have directed. I'm just saying, of what his body of work, I would like, as a director, I would like to have him direct me.
Right.
Yes. And
wow, that would be, we're throwing it out there.
Then I'm eliminating Martin Scorsese because I love Martin Scorsese too. So he might kind of direct, kind of let you go, let the actor go type of thing. So Clint Eastwood, and
Nicholson.
And Nicholson, yes.
Wow. Okay, we're putting it out there. Phil Fondacaro, Jack Nicholson, next Clint Eastwood film.
That would be nice.
That would be great. That would be great. Well, Phil, thanks so much for chatting with me. It's always wonderful hanging out with you, and I hope we can do it in person again soon.
Please.
You know, we'll hope that the world gets better, and we can go back out to the cons and have some laughs and meet some of your fans.
Yes.
So
thank you, Dom.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much to everyone who watched us live. If you'd like a one-on-one chat with Phil on Zoom, you can still get that at fullempirepromotions.com, as well as autographs and video greetings. All that information is on our website right below. So thanks to everybody who watched, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Phil.
You. Thank you all. Thank you.
And be sure to join us tomorrow. We'll be back for the last event in November at 4 p.m. Eastern with the X-Files star, William B. Davis. And then December, we've got 4 clients signed up so far. December 11th is Amy Yazbek, star of Robin Hood Men in Tights. And December 12th is Wolf Creek star John Jarrett. That should be a great one, all the way from Australia. And December 19th, we'll be bringing back Kent McCord for another a digital fan event. So for all that and more, please visit our website, fullempirepromotions.com. And thanks so much. Thanks again. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.